That's always kind of been the goal all these years. Is we obviously there's some things you've got to do, right?
Yep.
There's going to be some grunt work days. Friday a lot of times would be a little bit more, hey, we got to get the building prepped, we've got to get outside, whatever. But I've heard from too many guys that becomes the internship, and we really want a chance to invest in the next generation. Hey, Castleview, good to be here today. Thank you for joining us again for this episode of the Castleview Baptist Podcast. We've got two interns with us this summer, and of course, so many of you know what we do with our interns. We look for the opportunity to invest in guys, and we've got two great ones this summer. I'm excited about both of this summer's interns, and we've got Chris Holland and we've got Logan Roy with us. Good morning, guys. How we doing?
Good morning. How are you? Good.
Hey, doing very well. Logan, how are you?
I'm doing well. It's a good day.
Good. You got in okay? You came in early?
Yeah, Saturday I flew in.
Did you have an event or something happening?
No, so my buddy got married last week.
Okay.
And so I was like, hey, can I just come early so I don't have to do all this travel arrangement? And they were like, sure. But don't ever fly out of Atlanta. It is like the worst airport in the entire world.
Would you say worst? Have you been to Chicago?
No.
Okay.
But I have been to JFK. That wasn't.
Okay.
I still feel like that wasn't nearly as bad as
Atlanta's not great. Yeah.
Well, I got dropped off on the wrong side of the airport, so I had to, because all of the check-ins are on one side, and then Delta's on the opposite.
Got it.
For whatever reason, so I had to walk all the way around. And then
Who dropped you off?
My buddy Isaiah, so he was out there.
So really, it's an Isaiah issue, not really a
I will blame
airport
Isaiah.
issue here. Yeah, to be honest, I mean that was,
to be fair,
that was the beginning of your experience.
Yes.
I feel like you're got to be hard on Atlanta.
Yeah,
it really is Isaiah.
Yeah. We'll blame him. And he was checking in with me the whole time. And I was like,
Yeah.
you dropped me off on the wrong side of the airport. And he was like, dude, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to miss my flight.
Yeah. So what happened? What was your issue at Atlanta? Just having to get across the...
I get to security, and it takes like an hour to get through security. And then they just have you going through a metal detector, not like one of the scanner ones where you go like this.
Yep.
And it flags me. And he goes off. He's like, take off your shoes. So I'm like, okay. And so I take off my shoes, put it back, and they have to they go through the thing and they have to examine them. So they take them off to the side, but there's 8 bags in front of my shoes, and I have 10 minutes to get to my plane.
Yeah.
And so it's like 2 minutes till I'm like, dude, I'm just gonna go barefoot. Yeah. And then some random guy just comes up. He's like, yo, whose shoes are these? And then I was like, those are mine. I'm barefoot. And he was like, all right, just take these and go. I was like, appreciate it. And so I make it to my plane.
Yeah.
And I'm boarding group 8, so it wasn't too bad. But it was already at 7. So this is like one of the last people on the airplane.
Yeah.
And I was just like, all right, here we go.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
so it all worked out, but it was a little stressful.
The whole issue. So you're talking about Atlanta like it's terrible, but it was Isaiah was the problem.
Yeah,
this
we'll blame
entire
Isaiah
time.
for everything.
We had an intern. This would have been 2 years ago. We had a guy named Josh Johns come in, and Josh had. I want to make sure I get this right. I guess it's almost unbelievable what I'm saying. Josh had a gun with him. Now it was in his backpack. I want to say. Forgot about it. It wasn't a knife. I'm 99% sure he had a gun with him on the airport. So that was at the airport. So that was kind of an interesting start. Josh, shout out if I'm wrong on this or if it was somebody else. I'm sorry about that, but I'm pretty sure it was Josh, and I'm pretty sure it was a gun.
Oh my.
That he had. Chris, how was you had kind of a day yesterday?
Yeah. I mean, getting through Atlanta actually was fine. But then once we got we were literally like right over Denver, and then he comes, the pilot comes on the intercom, and he's like, "Hey guys, there's some increment weather, so we're gonna have to circle around for a bit." He's like, "But we don't have enough fuel to circle around Denver, so we're actually gonna go and land in Albuquerque." So we went 15 minutes to Albuquerque, and then we sat there probably an hour before we refueled, and then got back up in the air and got back. So it was an added 3 hours.
Is that right?
Out of nowhere, and we stayed on the plane the whole time we were in Albuquerque, which was awful. I kept thinking they were okay, maybe they crack out drinks, so we can get some water or something. No, it was hot in there too. So
that is the worst, sitting on the tarmac somewhere. Yeah, for sure.
Especially in Albuquerque.
Well, especially in Albuquerque. Albuquerque is about as exciting as it sounds. To be honest,
there's nothing there.
There's not a whole lot there. Yeah, staying on the plane was probably preferred. So Chris, we flew in last night too. Debbie and I got here last night. We were at a niece's graduation in North Carolina this weekend, and we happened to be at the same church that you're out of. And matter of fact, Pastor Daniel Hawtrey reached out to me and said, "Hey, since you're going to be here, let's pray. We're going to pray for Chris at the end of the service, going out for the internship. Come pray for him at the end of the service." And so it was kind of fun to see you in your environment there at Kerwin. How many years have you been at Kerwin Baptist Church?
It's been 13 years now.
13 years? Okay. Good church. Good pastor.
Yeah. No, we love it there. We first moved to the area 2013, and we were looking for a church. And my mom had worked with the school previously.
Yeah.
So we got connected that way. But yeah, we love it.
Okay. Tell us, how do we know you guys? And how did this come about? This internship this summer, Logan? How do we get in contact with you?
I met you back when I was in high school when you were preaching at Grandview, and you did the Worldview series. I'll never forget it. And
Okay.
you're the only one that could convict me. Maybe not the only one, but you have a way of speaking whenever you talk, and you were talking about hot topics.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, like, you talked about abortion that week, and you somehow were able to keep like a good face with such a serious issue. And you didn't, but we didn't lose with your smile. We didn't lose the gravity of the issue. I'll never forget that. So then you came out to PCC this last semester, and I was like, I know this guy. And you preached a sermon in chapel out of Acts with Stephen.
Yeah.
And then you taught our group, and I was like, well, hey, do you guys have any internships?
Yeah.
I was kind of searching, and you were like, well, sit down with Brett, talk to him, and then if you want one, text me.
Yeah.
And I went and got lunch with Brett.
Yeah.
And he told me all about it, and he was like, listen, if you get the internship, there are a few things you'll want to do. Like if pastor asks you to do something, he's like, do it right away. He's like, that should be. He's like, just take it from me. And so he let me in on that, and then he was just telling me about the different host homes and like the investment. So what I was looking for was strong investment into me.
Yeah.
Since I missed last summer doing anything, I really did want investment, and he really did peg this place as, we will invest in you. And so I really sought it out. We interviewed, and then you guys offered it, and I talked to my pastor, and he was like, do it. I was
Do
like,
it,
great.
do it.
And
Yeah,
so I accepted, and now we're here.
I forgot the Grandview connection that we had. Did we meet that week?
Yeah. I think you signed my first Bible, but what happened with that Bible was I gave it to a kid, so I don't have it anymore.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
His name was Swayze. Yeah, my freshman
That
year.
Bible meant so much to you
Yeah.
that you couldn't get
I led him
it's
to the
ruined.
Lord.
I got to get rid of this
No,
thing.
I led him to the Lord in McDonald's my freshman year of college.
yeah.
He and two other teens. So we were sitting there in a booth.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, do you guys have Bibles? And they were like, no. So I went to a Target, and the lady was like the meanest lady in the world. I was like, hey, where are the Bibles at? She brings them over. She's like, these are the Bibles. And I'm like, well, I can speak English. I was like, great. All they had was New King James. So I got them up. They were like thick, large print. And so I was like, oh, these are like grandma Bibles. I got them. And the kid, he looked at my Bible and he was like, that looks used. Can I have that one? And I was like, I don't really have another one. I was like, yeah. And I was like, if it's gonna get you to read your Bible every day, I was like, you can have it. And I gave it to him. And we kept in contact for pretty much the rest of that year.
Is that right? Yeah.
And he grew a lot, and he started getting into like graffiti art, but he wouldn't do it like on buildings. He would sell it. And so he's a pretty cool kid. But
Yeah, amazing.
So
I just want our church to know that I don't walk around asking people to sign their Bibles.
yeah, no, that's the thing. We usually ask the pastor to sign. And so
Come here, Logan. Let me sign your Bible for you.
you're like, man, no. So it worked out. I only have
That's awesome.
right now in my newest Bible that I got, I only have one signature in it. So I tend not to
Yeah. Do that a
get
ton.
all of them signed. And so
Sure,
it just
sure.
depends on if it's really impactful or I don't know.
Why were you at Grandview? What church are you from?
So I'm from Tucson Baptist with Brent Armstrong.
That's right. You know, I forgot that. I forgot about that. Great church, great pastor.
Yeah. So they invested heavily into me.
Yeah.
And then I think it was actually like one of the hardest times in like my high school life was right after that week of camp. And then like things just started spiraling. And so it was very timely. And then I got super involved within like my actual pastoral staff. I worked on staff at my church as like maintenance and things like that for pretty much since I was a teenager.
Okay.
And so they obviously invested heavily into me. And so that's how we connected, was because of camp.
Yeah, amazing. Now that you say that, I do remember Tucson Baptist being there, and he came in. His son was there as well, and great church. Interesting. I forgot all about all of that.
Yeah.
And so a lot of little connections.
Yeah.
We've got. And I'm glad Brett said some good things about it. We love Brett. Of course, he's coming in next week, and our church is pretty excited about that too. Chris, you've helped out in your church quite a bit. What have you done? What's your interests? What have you? By the way, before we do that, how did we get connected? Tell me that. How did we get connected?
So we got connected. Actually, it was through Brett. I've worked with Brett. I mean, we started college around the same time, and then we started working through this prayer group at PCC together called Overflow. And we've worked there like the past 2 years together.
Yeah.
So we got really connected through that. And then we also interned at the same church over the school year last year too. And after he interned for y'all, he talks so highly about you guys. He loves it here. Yeah. So, I was looking at things I was going to do after graduation and for the summer, and I talked to him. I was like, man, do you know if it would be like a good opportunity? He's like, you would love it. So that was the main connection.
Yeah.
And then I talked to my pastor about it, and he loves you too. And he couldn't highly recommend anyone else. So he was really happy to recommend y'all.
Good. Yeah.
And then of course, your son goes to our church, who I hadn't met before. I'd met his wife, but I hadn't met him.
Yeah.
Just because he started going while I was at college. So it was
Right.
like,
Right. I'm glad they're there. We were there Sunday.
Yeah.
And just a great church, great service. And so you guys both have really, really solid churches that you come out of.
Yeah.
What are your interests, Chris? What do you like to do?
So I'm a big tech guy. Like I'm big in like social media, graphic design.
Yeah.
I'm really into, I love design. And then also youth ministry is my passion. Youth ministry, children's ministry, both of them, but especially youth.
By the way, you're going to have you been at Lighthouse Baptist in Gulf Breeze? Have you been working there for a little while? Because that's where Brett Schoen is at now.
Yeah.
That's where he's been volunteering.
Yeah,
of course,
that's
he's
where-
coming out to be with us next week. But you're getting ready to take over the children's ministry there.
Yeah, so I interned with them this past year, and then I'll be going back in the fall. And it won't be like a total job. I'll be working at PCC while I'm there, but I'll also be like I'll be heading up a lot of their children's ministry,
Gotcha,
and then some of
gotcha.
their. I'll be working with their interns.
It's a small
too.
world, isn't it? How
Yeah.
all these connections take. When Brett left last year, we said, Brett, you got to do some recruiting for us, and and he did. We had several. We've talked to a number of guys about potentially coming out this summer. Had our Zoom calls, and you guys impressed us on the Zoom call. What are you gonna say, Logan?
No, I had to do it. I was telling Pastor Johnny this. I had 3 roommates, and they were, my first semester.
Yeah.
They were real loud. They liked to game.
Yeah.
And so I was getting ready for our Zoom call.
Yeah.
But they all didn't have class. They were all gaming.
Oh, no.
And like right before the Zoom call, one of them dropped like the craziest line ever. And I was like, okay, so I'm not getting an internship if I'm in here. So I had to go to my buddy's room. So when we did our Zoom call, I had just sat down at my buddy's desk and I was like, yo, cut. And I was like, be quiet, I gotta. And so we were literally talking while he was like cleaning with his headphones in. And I was just like, okay. So it was that was stressful, but it worked out. It was really fun.
That's great. Well, you guys both did a great job on that. Logan, what do you want to get out of the summer? What are you looking for? You're here now.
Yeah.
You've done an internship before?
Yeah.
Was it at Tucson, did you say?
No, so
Where'd
I did
you
one
do
in
an
New
internship?
York.
New
And
York.
The difference between New York, he's a great guy, but he needs a lot of help.
Okay.
So he has nobody out there because he can't afford to take on a staff member full time.
New York's tough.
Yeah, and so but he's in Albany or Schenectady, that area.
Okay.
And so I came on, but there wasn't a lot of investment. It was basically like, oh, so you've preached before? Okay, great. So you're in charge of all of our kids and you're going to preach teens every week. And I wasn't in a church service or anything for like the entire summer.
Wow. Is
So
that
I was
right?
basically like his aide. I was basically his pastor. I was doing like home visits, dinners. Like I was like the assistant pastor.
Wow.
So a little bit different of something. I was 18, so
Yeah.
I was dumb.
It was a lot.
Yeah,
It
and
was a
so
lot.
it was
Yeah.
definitely
Threw you
growing.
right in the fire. Great
Yeah.
opportunities for
Yeah.
sure.
And then we would go like door knocking, but there are a lot of unique people in New York.
Yeah,
Even in the upper part of New
Oh,
York.
yeah.
And so you would meet Orthodox, like witches and
Yeah. What part of New York were you in?
Schenectady, Albany
Okay.
area.
Okay. Gotcha. So not New York City or Queens or Manhattan.
No, I did go visit New York City.
Did you?
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
I like New York
Oh,
City.
I bet. Yeah.
I wouldn't
I bet
go
it
and
was.
live there, but
Tough place to pastor too.
Yeah.
I got some pastor friends in that area. That's a challenging place
Yeah.
for sure. So
well, they have somebody at PCC. They were telling us a story. Somebody just bought a storefront building, and it was like super expensive for just a small storefront building.
yeah.
And I'm like, imagine getting like an actual like church,
Yeah.
like a big
Yeah.
building. And so, I am thankful for the guys that want to reach New York. I don't think God's drawn me that way, but
Yeah.
sure.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm hoping back to that question of what I'm hoping to get out of the summer. I have been praying about starting a church, and what I was telling Pastor Johnny is I really want to glean how you guys did yours and the process behind it. Obviously, I know everywhere is different, and then just some genuine investment. Like I want to be told where I need to grow, what I do well, what maybe was an area where it's like in the middle, where it's like, hey, you either this is the moment where you can either grow from this or this is going to hurt you in ministry one day. And so I really want to. Kind of either side's a little more extreme. I want to hit those areas and then just serve.
Yeah.
That's gonna be lit just to help out the church and
Yeah.
to see the different areas of ministry. He talked about how when he was an intern, when he was in college, Pastor Johnny, it was always like mowing the grass just doing the grunt work. And he was like, we don't want to do our program like that. And so it's really cool that I'll be able to see multiple sides of how ministry is here.
Yeah, yeah. We really do. We started having interns. Let's see, Drew came out, I think 2012. I think he was our third set, with our third set. And that's always kind of been the goal all these years is we obviously there's some things you've got to do, right? There's going to be some grunt work days. Friday a lot of times would be a little bit more, hey, we got to get the building prepped. We've got to get outside, whatever. But I've heard from too many guys that becomes the internship, and we really want a chance to invest in the next generation. And so we do take seriously what you just said. Hey, we want to pour into, and that doesn't mean rude or mean, but we're all trying to grow. Interns are coming in and going, hey, we want to get something out of this, and if you want it to be valuable, don't just sugarcoat everything or act as everything's great. Then I don't really get any help. Yeah. But I think you'll also find that other side of it is we're incredibly encouraging in those areas that, hey, that was great, do it. It's not like every day you come in and go, all right, here we go again. Here comes the beat down. Who's going to beat it? No, it's not that at all. But it is hey, listen, this is how I would see this, and this is what I would do in this situation. Right. And so I do think there's value in that, to have somebody that's just kind of investing. Yeah. I think your generation actually really appreciates being poured into. Oh yeah. More than a lot of.
Well, that's what Brett said about you. He said that I know we probably won't do this year. He said something about camp back at the end or like going through that.
Sure.
And he said it was interesting that you're very meticulous. He was like, there are things that I never even thought Pastor noticed, but he had like a note, and he would literally just be like, okay, so we're gonna talk about this moment. And so when I heard that, I was like, man, so they actually care. And so that was a big draw as well for me, was that even he could attest to your guys' caring mentality behind your interns.
Yeah, that's good. So, that's good. Well, Brett will be with us in a week, and so it's going to be it'll be interesting. Our church has changed since Brett was here too. We've got an office administrator. Mercedes is with us. Rick McQuarrie is our finance administrator, and so Brett will be coming on. We've got it's going to be a lot of fun for the church to see some changes here as well. Tell me one thing that's interesting about you that most people may not know unless you told us this. So what's one thing that you'd say, okay, or this is who I am. This is interesting about me, or this is something you need to know about me. Chris, you got anything?
I mean, I think one that people don't realize, I guess it's because I feel like I tell people this, but I don't. But I have a twin sister back home. And I feel like I tell people all the time, like, yeah, I have a twin sister. And they're like, twins? What? No way.
Yeah. I met her.
Yeah.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily like an interesting fact about me, but that's one of I'm well traveled too. My dad was Air Force. So we spent a lot of time in Europe.
Okay. Okay. You like to travel.
Yeah. Love traveling.
Best place you've ever been?
Best place?
Yeah.
I really enjoyed London. I mean, we lived just south of London, and I wish I'd been older when I was there because I didn't appreciate it. Yeah. I'm like a kid. I'm like, I just want to go play at the park. And I'm like,
you didn't appreciate it.
This is London. This is awesome.
I was born in England.
Really?
Yeah,
what?
Wow.
Yeah,
my dad.
That's awesome.
Yeah, my dad was in the Air Force.
Oh, cool.
And so I was young when we moved away.
Yeah.
But I've always wanted to go back and see it. But my wife Debbie really wants to go see it. She has always been into the Royals and anything going on with the Royals she's interested in. She loves the pomp and the circumstance. She loves the older movies with all the British and the traditions and all of that. And so one of these days we've always talked about going on like a London, Paris kind of a trip, and going and seeing it. So one day we'll go and check it out.
That would be pretty cool.
So that was one of your favorite places, huh?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. London and especially Ireland out there was great.
That'd be cool.
Gorgeous.
The accent's great.
Yeah, it is.
There. Yeah. Isn't it funny? Anyone with an accent sounds so, most accents, not every accent, but most accents sound very intelligent.
Yeah.
Sophisticated. British accent, there's just kind of a classiness to it. Yeah, there's a few accents that don't. I won't list which ones they are. Southern.
Luckily, you don't have that. No.
Southern accent isn't quite as sophisticated. What interesting about you, Logan?
Oh, geez. I guess everybody will learn this. I'm extremely extroverted.
Yeah.
So there's not. I don't really know strangers. I kind of just I love people, and so and also I very am in the moment. So If you want to like change it up or do something, I'm very like easygoing with that stuff.
Yeah.
Allison, she's my girlfriend. She does not like that, but she's very much a planner and very much of like, we had this plan, like what happened. And so I've had to work on becoming a little more planned.
Sure.
But I'm very, I just love people. I could sit and talk. So Pastor Johnny said this in and out last night. He was like, don't take this the wrong way. That's really how we started. I was like, oh, great. So what? He was like, you don't like silence. Like, you like to talk.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, no, I don't like. So on the way back from the airport, I talked to him like the entire time. I'm not a big silent guy. So I'm very peopled, very extroverted, very energetic. And so that's me.
Good. You'll fit right in. Are you more introverted, Chris, or more extroverted?
I guess I lean a bit more to introverted. I love talking to people, but I'm more of like a listener, honestly.
Right. It's good. It's a good pairing.
Yeah.
You can't both be extroverts. You'll be killing each other.
Yeah.
Me too. Somebody's got to listen.
True that.
I'm a little bit more that way too. Extroverted, and growing up, I hated silence. Mm-hmm. My dad was quieter, and so you're driving down the road, and it'd be kind of like, okay, we're going to talk or whatever. So that silence kind of kills me. Sitting in the vehicle, I got to say something. And the problem with that though is you say stupid things a lot.
Yeah. If you're not careful, there are times where like, oh, what's his name? He does like the green room thing. I just met him.
Bill.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, he said something about his wife that I thought it was the funniest thing ever. But I was like, yeah, that's something I would do one day. Like he just said it. He talked about her being like old or something.
Yeah. Well, you'll get to know Bill. Bill says a lot of dumb things.
Yeah. So I definitely have had time in my life where my dad sat me down several times and he's like, just because you have a thought doesn't mean the world needs to know it.
That's exactly it.
And I've had to learn, even in college, like when I was a freshman versus now, I was so like gung ho on whatever came out of my, like I said whatever came to my mind. And you really have to learn time and place and approach to how you say something. Because really your tone and your approach will determine how someone receives it.
Yes.
And so that's definitely a lesson that I've had to learn. Because I used to just be like, I used to be the guy when my dad would like ground me, I would just laugh at him. Like, and that's horrible, but like,
which goes really well.
Yeah, no. So at one point he said, or he would like yell at me, and I would just like, I could not say anything. Like it was just like an impulse like thing. Like I had to work on it. Yeah. So he used to ground me if I he was disciplining me if I spoke back. He would ground me longer. And so it really helped me learn. And then in high school, I had to learn to be a little more. And I think that's a part of my like scatter brain. I can jump like so many topics at one time, and so I had to learn to be very mindful. Yeah. Because not everybody has the same sense of humor as you do. Yeah. And so,
are you sarcastic?
Yeah.
Okay. See, I'm very sarcastic. Yeah. Sarcasm is the lowest form of humor. Mm-hmm. It really is. I mean, but I am. That's how I am. And there are so many. I've told our church that there's so many Sunday nights I go home from church and I go, man, what a great day. That was such a great day. And then I start thinking about some of the things I said and I go, they know I was kidding, right? Do they know I was kidding? And before you know it, I'm almost, sweating going, man, I said a lot of dumb things today. I said a lot of offensive things to people. And so I've actually had to learn to scale that back. Yep. When our church was smaller, people knew me better, on a more individual basis. And I've had to learn to scale that back a little bit. That I can't just say, and by the way, Proverbs talks a lot about that. I mean, you just don't say anything that comes to mind. Yeah. And I can live in that sarcastic. I should wear that T-shirt that says sarcasm. It's how I hug. Yeah. If I'm giving you a hard time, I love you. I'm getting along with you. Things are good. If I'm not giving you a hard time.
That's basically what my parents said. So my parents are very like the same way. So that's how I grew up. I was always the guy they gave a hard time to. Yeah. And my dad will test. They still give me a hard time. Yeah. And so I just learned to do it. And then my friends, they'll say like, I have like 3 close friends. Like you have like the closest friends in your life. And they pretty much just take me as a jokester. So I don't really say anything. Like if I say anything, pretty much it's usually unserious. Yeah. But Everett just joined our group. And so, and Pastor Johnny's like, you use your sarcasm to mask when you're serious. I'm like, a lot of times, yeah. And so there'll be times where he'll do something that's like, I'm like, dude, what in the world are you thinking? And I'll say something. Yeah. And he'll sit there and be like, you're joking. I'm like, sure, yeah. And so I've tried to stress that like you pretty much just take anything I say as like pretty much a joke, unless obviously we're having a serious conversation, right? Because there's time and place. And
sure, yeah, of course. So we'll finish with this. What would you like to get out of this summer? if you could put one thing, listen, this is what I'd love to get, or this is what I'm looking forward to, or how can we pray for you? One of those, I'm giving you 3 options, what you'd like to get, how we can pray for you, what you're looking forward to the most.
I'm looking forward to just, getting involved in like everywhere I can, and just learning as much as I can too. I've worked with, a couple of different churches, and everyone does it different. There's no one right way to do anything.
That's right.
So I love seeing how people do it differently and how they approach it, and what works for them, what doesn't.
Yeah.
And especially just this area is very different from my home. My home, it's like a church on every like block, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to learn.
Bible Belt, North Carolina, right there in Kernersville, Greensboro area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to learn. Like I said, just get involved and see how you guys do things, and just learn as much as I can.
Yeah. Good. Okay. Good. Logan.
Definitely. You can pray that I would love for God to grow me in a way that I haven't been grown yet. So it's a scary prayer. Everyone says it's a scary prayer to ask God to show you what you need to grow in and then actually do it.
Yeah.
Or to show you where you need to change.
Yeah.
And it's like when David said, Lord, search my heart, and if there be anything in it, remove it.
Yeah.
And cleanse me. And it's like, I want that this summer, is
Yeah,
to be able
good.
to be. So just pray that we be impactful to the church families. I'd love to be a blessing to anyone that needs us. And so as we move into the summer, just to try to do our best. And then that Chris and I grow a friendship, because he's okay.
We'll see on that one.
We'll see how that one goes. Well, I'm excited to have you guys. Thank you for being here. I think you guys are going to be great interns for us this summer. And today's your first day.
Yeah.
You've been here literally 30 minutes and you've already recorded a podcast. So here we go. And church, we're excited about having these 2 guys with us this summer. And here's my encouragement to you. Pray for them this summer. Get to know them. Part of the reason we did this first is so that you could get to know them even before seeing them or meeting them. And we actually have some slots still available for dinners for them. And so go to the Church Center app and you can sign up under the intern meals. We'd love to have you get to know them better and just spend a few minutes. Great guys. I think it's going to be a great summer. And we're looking forward to not just investing in them, we're looking forward to what they're going to be able to bring to our church as well. Hey, thank you for joining us on this episode of the podcast. We'll see you again next week.